The COVID-19 crisis is regarded as a black swan, a once-in-a-century event affecting the entire world. So what might be next? A Christian financial expert says get ready for something known as gray swan events. Trends we're already experiencing. They're likely to transcend the pandemic. Crown Financial CEO, radio host Chuck Bentley.
The gray swan is an event that is obvious. It's out in the open. People see it. They know that it's there. They know it's a significant threat, but they tend to ignore it and do nothing about it.
Bentley explains this further in his new book, 7 Gray Swans, Trends That Threaten Our Financial Future. Among the 7, the global move toward digital currency and a cashless society. Bentley says the transition actually began years ago and has proceeded rapidly since COVID-19 hit.
With the threat that our actual physical currency may be tainted with a virus. And over time, the Bible warns that ultimately the Antichrist will control the world through the economy. And so I think we need to be aware that it's moving that direction rapidly and to do our part to be prepared for that.
Also, when Congress considered another multi-billion-dollar stimulus package, most Americans wanted to know how much to expect in their bank accounts or mailboxes. Bentley warns temporary relief payments could easily turn into a permanent, universal basic income program.
Those type of programs are very hard to stop. But my hope is that we will not endorse this policy to see that continue, because ultimately we can't afford it. It would be like eating sugar for your diet. It feels good for a little while, but it doesn't do good in the long term.
Bentley believes this is a result of the U.S. embracing modern monetary theory. The debt doesn't matter, so the Fed goes on printing dollars indefinitely. A similar trend in Venezuela led to hyperinflation, with an overall 5-year rate that rose a whopping 53 million%. Our national debt now exceeds the size of the American economy and is expected to total 102% of the U.S. gross domestic product by the end of this fiscal year. Bentley doubts the debt will ever be repaid, and that would lead America's creditors to inflict some painful options on the public.
Some sort of austerity program, some sort of massive tax increase, a hyperinflation that would make it easier for the government to repay their debt.
And Gordon, the use of biometrics and social scoring also make up these gray swan trends that signal big changes coming in the way we live our everyday lives.
Well, Gary, let's talk about social scoring. We've seen it in China. And how is social scoring coming to America?
Well, we're already seeing it to a certain extent, Gordon. Let's look at free speech and social media. That's the beginning. Right now, if you say something against masks or the COVID vaccine, you're blocked on Twitter. Maybe you're even banned from Facebook, so our speech is being banned. Now, once that moves into doing business, right now you know that, Gordon, if you are accident-free, you get favor. You have a better rate with your insurance company, with your auto insurance company. But if you have a number of accidents, then the rates go up. The same idea applies in the future to this social scoring. So let's say we want you to go to a meeting of gender identity sensitivity training. If you go, you'll get a bigger stimulus check. If you don't go, you're going to get a lower amount. Those things could be coming, and that's social scoring, scoring your behavior and your conduct based on your views also.
Well, Facebook's already doing it. I was talking to a friend this morning who got warned for promoting violence because they suggested that a certain politician go jump in the lake. And Facebook issued a warning on that. So what's the solution here? Facebook is a private company. Twitter's a private company. YouTube's a private company. Google's a private company. So First Amendment protections don't apply. But it looks like we're being scored. It also looks like political opinion is being censored. Is there any solution to this?
Well, a number of our politicians are saying, look, let's put some regulations here on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, so forth. What we can do is open it up and allow people to sue if their free speech rights are violated. Obviously, you say it's a private company, but these are the public neighborhood. This is where we have our interaction and our discussion nowadays. So there's a lot of arguments that can be made about putting regulation on those companies. But Gordon, I would say we could be heading down this road where you're denied maybe a tax return. You're denied another stimulus check. It can begin there, and then also businesses. We're already seeing it with some businesses like Uber and Airbnb. If they don't like you and you have a low scoring, a low rating from them, they can ban you from transportation or lodging. And that's already happening in our society. Look and see ahead. If that becomes widespread, you will have more difficulty conducting business. And if you're a Christian and you express godly and righteous views, you could be blocked out.
All right, well, let's take a viewer question. This is one coming from Instagram. How big is Bitcoin in aiding digital currency, and how dangerous are these cryptocurrencies?
Well, Chuck Bentley says, look, he's not recommending that you stop investing in Bitcoin. He thinks you should diversify. He doesn't see a great evil just in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. But think about it, Gordon. Before the pandemic began, only about 8% of sellers in America were doing digital transactions. A month after the pandemic hit in March, so a month later in April, that went up to 31% because people found they couldn't get things on store shelves at their grocery stores, so they started ordering online. So digital currency went up, didn't it? People were using their debit cards. We use them every day. In Sweden, 80% of the transactions there are digital with people using debit cards. It's hard to get actual cash money. So we've been on this road for a long while now. I wouldn't say that Bitcoin is evil in itself. It's just another part of this move towards digital currency.
Well, what can Christians do? It looks like all of this is somewhat unavoidable. At the same time, there's a warning to prepare ourselves. And so how do you get prepared for digital currency taking over?
Well, look, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not a financial advisor, but I've interviewed a number of them, and they're always saying, look, be prepared. And the way we prepare is keep some cash on hand, get out of debt. You get that next stimulus check that's coming probably by the end of this month. Don't go and just splurge and buy something you really don't need. Pay down your debt. They also talk about adding to your savings. Build up your savings account. And then, of course, on a spiritual note, we need to stay in prayer, and we need to encourage one another as believers, meet with other believers, pray, read the Word, and come to realize, encourage one another in realizing that God is always with us. In Deuteronomy 31:6, he says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So no matter what happens, we have that reassurance that God is with us. We stand on the rock. We'll get through this, but we need to be wise, listen to the Holy Spirit, and prepare.
All right. Well, Gary, thanks for the insight. You can always get the latest news by downloading the CBN News Channel app today, and on there you can watch The Global Lane with Gary Lane. Hello, I'm Gordon Robertson. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more encouraging videos like this one. Welcome to the 700 Club Interactive family, and God bless you.